Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Jump in the Pool podcast. I'm your host, Josh Samuel. Today we got Joel, Brice, and we have two new guests, Danny and Leigh Garrison. Wave, guys.
Hi, guys.
This is going to be a special episode, but because Leigh told us that we can never gossip 4 years ago. And
never can.
We've held true to that for the past 4 years. I've never even watched an episode of Gossip Girl. That's how dedicated it is. So this will be a strictly no gossip, no drama episode. Might be kind of bland, but we'll see how it goes. Brice, I heard.
Yeah, we're anti-gossip, anti-terrorism. We're all that. We're good.
Oh, goodness.
All right, so the first thing I wanted to ask you guys, just a little icebreaker, a little open discussion. Anybody can answer. If you could choose one song to always play when you walk in a room, what song would it be?
Oh, that's a tough one.
I think that's kind of easy for me. I'd choose Public Service Announcement by Jay-Z.
That's a great one.
Oh, that is a good one.
Allow me to introduce myself.
That's a good one.
What would you pick? You go first. I feel like you have a lot more to choose from with this one.
I don't know. Josh, that was a great.
You are the
hard to
music
find.
guy, so.
Brice, what do you got?
I'm either going to do Can't Tell Me Nothing by Kanye or I'm a Boss by Rick Ross is always a good one, too.
All right, I got mine. Panama by Van Halen.
That's a good one.
Well, epic guitar riff.
Yeah, with the guitar opening, yeah.
I think I would go with Jenny from the Block by J-Lo.
Ooh.
Just cause.
That's a good choice, too.
Your name's not Jenny, though.
Okay, well, you don't have to ruin it for me.
Joel, how about you?
I would either do Hot Wings from Rio or Macklemore's Wings.
Okay.
I think
That's
It
not bad.
introduces you every time you walk into a room.
Macklemore's is a lot better for me instead of Hot Wings, but
So if you walk
So
into
you got to think, like, this is going to play every time you walk in a room.
the chorus, I wanna fly. I don't know.
Listen, it's his song.
Can we talk about the Rio song though? Hot Wings by Rio? What? What even is?
I didn't want to call him out. I didn't want to call him out.
Is this song? Hold on.
Is he 4 years
I
old?
don't- Yes.
I probably know.
Okay, we don't want to get copyrighted.
Yeah, Joel, thank God you don't have a music podcast. My other question was, would you rather fight one horse-sized chicken or 100 chicken-sized horses? And you guys have chickens, so I'm sure you have a little bit of experience with
Fighting them.
I will absolutely take 100
No.
100 chicken-sized horses over one horse-sized chicken.
why?
I personally would pick the chicken because I feel if I'm on like the same wave, like we can like talk to each other, I think at this point, just like by making eye contact. So I feel like that one very large sized chicken would know that we're just meant to be best friends. So like it would be fine, I think. Horses, their teeth scare me. So I don't think I'd go with that one.
Wait, do chickens have teeth?
No, they don't.
No, but they have talons and beaks, and when they're the size of a horse, that could rip you into pieces. And they're not particularly nice little creatures. So,
They're nice to me. I also give them treats out the
but
kitchen
keep
window.
in mind
though.
here, we're not would you rather be friends with? It's what would you rather fight? So you're automatically, we're going into this with violence in play.
Yeah, but chickens aren't that
So
smart.
I'm going 100 chicken-sized horses.
Yeah, but chickens aren't that smart though. Horses are much smarter than chickens. Like
It's
I'm
true.
pretty
I've
sure.
seen Seabiscuit.
Interesting.
I've seen Seabiscuit. All right. Well, that's my personal answer. You do you.
Yeah,
It's your funeral.
I've seen Chad Ochocinco race a horse and win, so I don't know.
Wait, what?
You can just probably do that.
No, I don't think he won, but I'm pretty sure I know he raced a horse.
There's no way he beat a horse.
I don't know.
Did they say what kind of horse it was, like the age and stuff?
I don't know. We'll have to look it up. I'll edit this in.
If it's some like old horse like put out the pasture in like North Carolina, he's gonna beat it.
Yeah, they put it down right after the race.
Yeah. Yeah, they had the P test Ocho Cinco and the horse.
Yeah.
This is a good question.
No.
So 2020, it's been a year, and everybody's had their own struggles with it, the pandemic and everything. But I mean, Josh and I have talked about just what we've gone through this year with it. But what about you guys being parents of a young child? What's it like raising a little kid in the pandemic?
Especially Leigh, you're in it. So you see like the front lines and what's going on. Like, why don't you give us your point on that too?
I mean, thankfully, so I've been in home care for the last little bit. So I've been in people's homes more or less, working with like a lot of dementia clients and stuff. But I have a lot of my friends are still working on the floors. I did like a short stint on the COVID floor back in July.
Mm-hmm.
So it really wasn't like that crazy yet. But I remember like I texted Danny that morning. I'm like, I have a COVID patient today. And it was like my first one. And I had to I remember it was like kind of creepy feeling. I texted him like, it's just really weird because this whole time since March, like we've been trying to avoid this. And then now all of a sudden, like I'm walking in and like the door is shut. And it's like they're watching this patient on a baby monitor and stuff to limit exposure going in the room. And I remember thinking like, okay, I'm like walking into like the belly of the beast more or less. Like I know it's in this room. And like, that's like a really strange feeling to know you're walking into it's there. She tested positive, it's there. So that was a really surreal experience, like having to gown up and everything. And then I had another patient who I took care of all day and I was wearing just like he wasn't a COVID patient. So I just had on my surgical mask, like not the whole getup. And then took care of him for 12 hours. He was coughing in my face, but he had heart failure. So we just, I don't know why they didn't test him in the ER, but we thought he was coughing because of his heart failure, which is like a totally normal symptom of that or side effect of that. And then I got a call the next day. We were actually getting ready to go down the shore for Danny's dad's 60th birthday. And I got a call from my manager the next day. And she was like, hey, just calling to let you know, your patient that you had for 12 hours the day before, we actually just tested him for COVID and he was positive. And I'm like, and this guy was like deaf basically and like very old. So I had to I was like super close to his ear, like screaming into his ear for him to be able to hear me. And I'm like, great, like this is it. Like I have it. I ended up never getting it, but we had to quarantine. And it was like every 5 seconds, both of us were like, how do you feel? Like, do you feel okay? Do you not feel okay?
Yeah,
so
until we got the test results back, that was like the longest week ever, just sitting around waiting to find out.
Yeah, and like every 5 seconds, how do you feel? So like that was scary with Lil. Yeah, I don't enjoy that.
But that also put a lot of perspective on it that
mm-hmm.
Maybe it's not as easy to get as it seems. Maybe it's just totally chance, you run into the wrong person, but she was like right there in front of it. And somehow we all came out unscathed. So
yeah, it's like so weird. Like I had a friend of mine who had it recently, COVID, and she has 3 kids and her husband and like a not huge house, and she got it and no one else got it. And like they're in the clear, they're out of the 2-week quarantine. It's just so like it shows how like careful you have to be because you just don't know like who you just don't know. Like there's no rhyme or reason to it. It's intense. And then like as far as raising Lily goes through it, girlfriend's a tornado. She's none the wiser. Like
yeah, that really affects Lee more than anything. But like she can't go out and take her to little kids classes and stuff because there is none of that right now. So she just tears through the house like the Tasmanian devil. And then I come home and Lee looks like she just got beat up by a horse-sized chicken. And and I take over from there.
Yeah, I think the hardest part was in the beginning. She was so scared of people if she saw them with masks on and stuff. Because I took her out in the summer because it wasn't as bad then. but I think, I mean, that was hard, but I think honestly the hardest part is the fact that she is like masks are normal to her.
Mm-hmm.
Like she doesn't, like she knows when I'm wearing my mask and everything when we're out. And it's like, I think that's probably like the weirdest part of
that's
it.
totally normal.
Yeah, that like for her and her little mind, because she's developing so much right now. I mean, like she's doing her ABCs, like she's developing so much. Unfortunately, part of her like development is masks, and she's just really desensitized to it. And that's kind of like sad, because I feel like it's not the childhood like we all had.
Mm-hmm.
And it's definitely,
but luckily
tough.
She's too young to remember, so hopefully by the time she is old enough to remember, this will all be over. And
yeah,
it's crazy.
We'll have to go,
because I mean, well, we've grown up as like, I've grown up 18 years not having to wear a mask when I go out. I've gone to school with my friends. Like, I mean, Brice, we went to like to high school, we did prom and all that stuff. But for Lily,
we didn't go to prom together though. They wouldn't let us.
Even though we have photos to prove otherwise, but but yeah, Lily's normal now is wearing masks and like schooling from home instead of going out. Like once this is all over, it's probably going to be a shock to her to not see people with masks on and to go to the park and like have no one with their masks on. So it's just think about like how her new normal now is going to be like affected again.
Yeah, it's like we're gonna have to like start over. Like in the summer, and even like in the early fall, I took her to the park and stuff like that. And I do have, my best friend has a daughter who's 3 months older than Lil, and we see her, but that's literally, I think that's
it.
That's
the only
it. That's
other little kid she spent time with.
Yeah, like she just doesn't. It's strange. It's very strange.
But
how tough is it not being able to? Oh, go ahead, Danny.
I just was saying it is what it is. Not much we can do about it now. Just gotta wait.
Yeah. How tough is it with her? She's gonna be what, 2 in March?
Mm-hmm.
How tough is it just, not really being able to explain what's going on to her because she's so young?
Well, thankfully, she has no idea. So she's none the wiser. And like I said before, like she's not gonna remember this. So hopefully it's over before she's old enough to like form memories and remember this sort of stuff.
I think the hardest part is, as a new mom, it's like I wanted to get to know other moms and like do the mommy and me classes and like kind of find that other like group in my life, I suppose, of like these young moms. We get the kids together and like doing things like that. And it's definitely felt like, because Danny's been going to work the whole time. Like he never had a time when he was home. So it's just been me and Lil for so much of it, which is great. I mean, honestly, I'm really grateful for that, for how much time her and I did get to spend together. But it was definitely, and still kind of is, like very isolating. So we had to stop kind of everything in our lives, like because I was being exposed to COVID and I couldn't expose other people. It's like we just, we saw our parents and everything, but that was kind of it for a while. It's very, for me personally, it was kind of isolating because just my entire world just like stopped, and that was it. Go figure.
Yeah. Danny, what's going through your mind knowing that Lee's, going onto these COVID floors working with the COVID patients?
Well, thanks. First, really nerve-wracking. Thankfully, she hasn't had to do that in a while. So it's like a lot more at ease. And I know with her new job, like when she is going into a house, the aides have been tested and like we know everyone's clean or supposed to be clean when she's going in there. So it's like I don't even have to worry about it. I mean, we actually had the Monday before Thanksgiving, we had an employee at work test positive, which, everyone, especially the people that work closely with him, he works in the bindery and I'm up in the front office. So I talk to him a lot, but I don't work directly with him. But we had a little bit of a panic. And, thankfully, every single person in the company got tested and tested negative. And it was totally fine. But that was a little nerve-wracking at first. It's like, you know what? It's not just like you can get it anywhere, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, but again, can't stop living your life. You just got to be careful.
Yeah.
I like the grocery store way too much to not go to the grocery store. I can't do Instacart every week.
I love Instacart. I don't have to put on like real pants.
Like, I want to look at my before I buy them.
Nope, could care less. Give me whatever you got.
Or you got ShopRite or Acme people. I mean, there's a right answer.
ShopRite for everything except beef, because the steaks at Acme are better than at ShopRite.
Okay.
That's my answer.
That's okay. I'll accept that.
I don't know, dudes. I like Aldi and Trader Joe's.
I grew up with Acme, but we didn't have any ShopRites near me, so.
Yeah.
But
Trader Joe's is slept on. Trader Joe's is pretty good.
Trader Joe's is good.
Little TJ action.
Little TJ action.
My mom gets this it's like peanut butter, but instead of peanut base, it's cookies. So it's like crushed up cookies in this like peanut butter. It's pretty good.
Oh, the cookie butter. Have you had the ice cream with it yet?
What?
Trader Joe's makes an ice cream out of the cookie butter, and it is delish. You're
snap.
welcome.
I'll have to tell my mom.
I'll give her a
I
call.
don't food shop. I don't food shop. That's her. So I'll have to tell her.
Yeah, all I buy is cookies, so yeah.
It's the only kind of shopping I like to do.
And beef jerky.
Candy shop. So I wanted to ask you too. Does the date December 9th, 2015 ring a bell with you guys?
December 9th, 2015.
What day of the week was it? Is it a Sunday?
Shoot, I don't know.
Oh, then no, I don't know.
December 9th, 2015.
Where were we?
That's before
We weren't even.
No, I was living in Gloucester.
Ooh. Rough years. December 9th, 2015.
Gloucester, the holy city.
What's that?
I said Gloucester, the holy city.
Glow City.
Glow City. No, I don't know. It sounds familiar. For some reason, I feel like it has to be an Eagles-Giants game of some sort.
Was that the 27-0 Thursday night football shutout where Victor Cruz got hurt?
Actually, it might be, but that's not what I'm thinking about. December 9th, 2015, Danny posted a picture on Instagram of Leigh wearing an Eagles hat. So I just wanted to, Leigh, first of all, welcome to the South Philly fanhood. We love having you.
Wow.
That game, real quick, Tampa Bay put up like 44, 45
Oh, I
points.
remember that game.
Awful. So I told her she's never to wear that hat again.
I have not worn it since. We actually
It's
left
only
the
been on.
game. Danny said he's only ever left one Philadelphia sporting event game early, and that was it.
Yeah, that day we
Halfway
were setting up
through
the Christmas village, and they had it up like on the screen.
Mhm.
I was so mad. I left the Christmas village. I didn't care. I went home in like the third quarter.
I went. Yeah, Danny told me because I wore that hat
That
that
was bad.
day. I was trying so hard. I wanted to get engaged. Because that was 4 years.
Yeah, still took
It
me
still took 2
or no,
years.
a year.
Yeah,
November 16th.
yeah. Yeah, I remember I bought the hat and I put it on. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna try this. I died a little bit inside. You should know that when I put that hat on.
Hey,
And it didn't go well.
Well, hey, the Giants beat the Eagles for the first time since before we got engaged this year. So
Don't even talk
It's
about
been
the
quite a
NFC
while.
East. Just don't even bring up the end. The entire NFC East is just a dumpster fire. So let's
all
just
right, good.
not.
All right, we're all in agreement. I thought you and Josh could make little jokes, about the Eagles.
We're literally
We're finally as
awful.
bad as you guys.
I'm coming for your throat this weekend, Josh. You should know that, because if I want any hopes of playoffs, then
I don't want to go.
and maybe
That's the thing.
Listen, you guys can have that late pick. We'll take number 3.
15 to second. I don't want to get a late first round pick. We're not going to the playoffs. It's not Super Bowl.
Yeah, I was scrolling through Danny's Instagram the other day, stalking like I usually do, and I was like, man, I gotta ask him about this. But welcome to the South Philly fanhood. How long have you been hiding your love of the Eagles?
Literally never would gouge my eyes
You should
out.
see the daggers that she shoots me with her eyes whenever Lily just randomly pulls out the Eagles chant, which she does quite often now, like at least a few times a day.
Mhm.
She'll be like running around yelling her ABCs, and then all of a sudden, EAGLES, Eagles.
Well, she's a smart kid.
It's heartbreaking for me. It is heartbreaking.
And you know what her favorite color to yell out is too?
Green.
This is why I don't leave Danny home alone with the baby very often, because
Well, it's funny you say that, because I was going to ask you guys, with you being a New York Football Giants fan and Danny and God having the same favorite team, the Philadelphia Eagles.
Oh no, God's team is not the Eagles.
God's favorite team is the Eagles.
No.
That's what I tell the kids in work. I tell the kids in work that God's favorite team is the Eagles, and when they don't like the Eagles, that God gets mad.
The kids in work caught Fletcher Cox pushing the ball back on like the 1 yard line. They thought that was the Cowboys. They know literally nothing about football.
Well, I was gonna say, like, Lily gonna be, rocking with the G-men, or is she gonna be doing the right thing and rocking with the Eagles? What's gonna be going on?
I think we said that we're like just gonna plead the fifth and put her in like a Miami Dolphins jersey or something.
Like Mike.
Just hope for the best.
You could look one of those like split jerseys, where it's like one half is. You wouldn't even do that.
I think so. It all depends when it comes
She
time.
looks better in green.
She's blue eyed. Completely false.
So do I.
Yeah, you look better in blue.
Cowboy blue. We don't know.
No, they have that silver mixed in. It's not a warm blue. No, I don't. I mean, I guess I have to let her decide.
I don't want her being made fun of by all the kids in her school for being a Giants fan.
Or she'll just be really tough and go after everyone for making fun of her, which I'm not condoning violence, but I mean,
It is what it is.
it is what it
You
is.
absolutely are condoning violence because you picked a horse-sized chicken. So clearly,
Listen, can we all just be?
I want you all to know that I'm gonna have a nightmare tonight about a horse-sized chicken coming after me, and Leigh just like sitting there yelling, "It's fine, you'll be fine."
Just become one with the chicken. Can we just all agree that we're all really happy that we're not Jets fans because they can't even lose properly?
Yeah.
They just lost Trevor Lawrence. That's
Yeah, they can't even lose, right? That's brutal for
They
them.
They lose at losing. Like that's hard.
Congratulations, you beat Jacksonville.
You played yourself.
Kudos.
They beat
But hey, not Trevor
No.
Lawrence. Hey, there's no income tax in Florida, so he's saving himself a little bit of money. That's a business decision.
There's
This dude's gonna have money for days. He's gonna be the #1 pick, future like prospect for the ages. He's like the Zion of football right now.
Yeah.
It's honestly true.
Yeah, it is good not being a Jets fan. Shout out my boy Sal Sanchez. I know he listened to this. He's a Jets fan.
Oh,
Yeah, he likes the Jets because of Mark Sanchez when he was the quarterback, because they have the same last name. So
yeah, right. You're right. You like someone for butt fumble.
former Eagle Mark Sanchez too. Matter of fact, I think Mark Sanchez was the quarterback that Buccaneer game.
He might have been.
I think he was actually.
He might have been.
That actually sounds very familiar.
I think didn't Foles like break his shoulder the week before or something?
Yeah.
That was the year that we trounced the Cowboys on Thanksgiving, right?
Sure did.
With Mark Sanchez. So yeah, that would have been the week after Thanksgiving or 2 weeks after.
Yeah, I think you just
So, yeah.
assumed it was like a shoe-in of a game. So that's why I wore the hat.
Yeah.
To be young and
Yeah, it was Jameis Winston. It was his rookie year.
crab legs.
Oh my God. I forgot about the crab legs.
Eat this W.
Yeah, eating the W's.
Oh God, he's a trip. That
Football's great.
He's making money down in NOLA.
Speaking about dates, what do you guys think about the date February 9th, 2018?
What were we doing February 9th? Okay, 2018. So we were married for a few months.
I can tell you what Danny and I were doing.
Yeah,
We were celebrating our first Super Bowl.
of my closest friends, freezing my toes off.
yeah.
What was February 9th? Why don't I remember?
Well, February 4th was the Super Bowl. I think it was February 4th. Right?
Oh,
Danny's life.
that's right. Yeah, the
That's why.
Super Bowl.
No,
I
February.
mean, you got two of them. You got two of them in the past decade. What are you complaining for?
February 9th was Winter Retreat, or maybe it was the 16th. One of those dates. It was definitely Winter Retreat.
No, it was the 9th.
It was the 9th, yeah.
Yeah.
That was.
So then the parade was like 2 days before that.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, something like that.
That was the day we all met each other.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
true. Y'all became BFFs. Except you guys did much better than I did. Okay, hang on. I have a female perspective on this. First of all, I showed up to this and everyone's like doing all their stuff, like their masks, and everyone's looking all this. And I literally am like sitting there thinking like, oh, I hope Danny's okay. Like I've at least been going to Living Hope for years now. You know what I mean? And like I'm uncomfortable in the corner. Like I had Danielle and like Jess and nobody else knew who I was. Meanwhile, I see Danny the next day. I'm like, oh, how you doing? You guys are suddenly all like BFFs for life. I'm still awkward in the corner. And I'm like, wait a second. I'm like, this kid just shows up out of nowhere. And now he is best friends with all of them. And I'm like, and I'm the awkward one, which is honestly comical.
You made a good first impression.
I remember I played dodgeball in duck boots.
Oh, jeez.
Memories.
That was an
How
amazing,
about the next?
amazing week because Danny came up to us. This is the first thing I heard from Danny. He goes, hey guys, I'm Danny. What do you guys like to do, right? And we start talking about like basketball and football. And then we go and play basketball and football. Like Danny just sits there. He was like our adult babysitter, but he just kind of followed us around instead of watching us.
Yeah, like what time's curfew? 10:30? We'll hang till midnight and see if anyone yells at us.
Well, all weekend, like I met you that weekend, but I didn't know like where you were from. And Sunday morning, we're playing basketball. I'm like, Danny, what church you go to? You're like, I go to Live in Hope. I've seen you there. I'm like, what?
Oh yeah.
I had like no clue. I thought you were like somebody's friend, like another like somebody that like another church on that trip. And we were like, yo, we need one more person. You were like, yeah, I've seen you there. I was like, for real?
That is so funny. Danny was really, he only
I was
came
so
to church
embarrassed.
with me
I was quiet for a while.
for most of it, right up until Pastor Justin. You didn't even, the worst part is Danny even, I volunteered to go myself. And then Pastor Justin looked at Danny and said, well, what are you doing that weekend then if your wife's busy or if your wife's coming? Danny didn't even want to go at first. I mean, he did, well,
No, I didn't.
he didn't want to go at first. But then he met all of you.
And he had the time of his life.
Yeah, I met my internet dad. That's what I tell people.
Playing basketball, spray painting hair. We did it all.
That year.
Yeah,
Oh my goodness.
I got ripped off James.
And then here.
Piles of stinky socks.
yeah, you had a bet.
I still don't think it was like that bad.
It wasn't terrible. It was a good one.
We
Was
had
it the
fun
next?
putting
Was
all of our basketball
Crazy that
stuff
that
in
was-
one corner. With,
Like we're coming up on 3 years since that happened.
yeah.
It's crazy.
It's been a wild 3 years.
That was a
It's
crazy.
a 10th.
too.
That was what?
That was a crazy basketball game too. That was the game where we played like that
it
6.
was a crap game, is what it was.
Oh, with the 40-year-old guy that just was playing his heart out.
I'm not over
That was
that.
the
Trying to
next
beat
year.
up.
He was
yeah,
there.
that-
He was there last year, and all me and Cheryl kept saying was, if Leigh was here, she'd be like 6th man of the year coming off the bench, blocking this guy.
I would have dusted off my one pair of Nikes I own and like put on my custom Sixers jersey that my brother-in-law made me that says Garrison on the back, 17 for the year we got married. And I would have just rickrolled over that man with every
he was
ounce.
just as bad.
Slept for like a year.
For everyone watching at home, you don't know the story about this guy. Well, let me tell you. We were playing basketball, and we only have 5 minutes to play basketball. No stopping the clock, nothing. So
Ridiculous.
we go up. Well, first we tried to just like pass Brice the ball and let him shoot, right? We go up. and then they just stop playing. Like the guys walk off the court and the time is still going. And then all of a sudden, these other guys come on like 3 minutes later and they go up. And then I had a chance at the game-winning layup. And this dude, this 40-year-old man, ducks under me, takes out my legs, and I fall on my back. And I'm just lying there, like gasping for air.
They still got his body taped on the floor.
Yeah, that's how it was. It was bad. And it's not like a wooden floor. It's like ceramic floor. It's like a weird texture floor that I fell on. And everyone like stormed the court, like pregnant Leigh, like really pregnant Leigh was like do it again. Like, oh my, like she's got in his face and he was like, I'm sorry. So this is
very unhappy. No one goes after a pregnant woman. That's why I was legitimately upset when Pastor Justin said I couldn't play dodgeball that year.
Yeah, we told you to play. You would have been 2 lives. They could have had to hit you twice.
If they hit the stomach.
Would that mean if she caught the ball, she'd bring back 2 people?
Yeah, and then 2 people on that side would be out.
And they would have avoided. No one's gonna hit the pregnant girl anyway. It would have been fine. We would have been.
Imagine
clutch.
if you had twins. You could have played 3-on-3 basketball by yourself if you had twins. And what are they gonna do? Block the pregnant woman? No. You would have sailed to a championship.
I would have.
You want to hear something kind of wild? Speaking of twins, I have 2 cousins that are pregnant with twins at the same time,
and they're all boys.
Well, that's
Isn't that?
Yeah, now you
I
can
know.
play basketball.
Yeah, right. I know. I cannot believe that. I can't believe that first winter retreat. I'm still not over the fact the first winter retreat was over 3 years ago. But yet it feels like longer. Probably because 2020.
Probably.
20 slowest and yet fastest year of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was what you think on playing year too.
Yeah, never forget when Danny spray painted Mike's hair.
Not this Danny.
Oh yeah, Dan Straub, not Danny Garrison.
Tell that story, Brice. I told you a basketball story.
Yeah, so for those who don't know, it was it the last night or the first night? I don't remember that part.
It was right after midnight dodgeball, so it was like Sunday or Saturday night.
My boy Mike Morales, I don't know if he's gonna be listening to this or not. He goes back to the room and takes a little cat nap. So Dan Straub, who was in youth group with Josh and I and Joel, thinks he's funny and is gonna go spray paint Mike's hair while he's sleeping. Mike don't think that's funny at all. So me, Josh, and Danny. No. Oh God, no. Go into our room. And the first thing I do is hop up in my bunk because I don't want Mike to see me that I'm part of this because he'll beat the crap out of me. He won't beat the crap out of the other 2. People forget Mike did karate. He knows his stuff.
Acting.
So Danny thinks he's funny and spray paints Mike's hair pink, and it's all over his nice white silk pillowcase, which I'm pretty sure was his grandmother's that he brought with him. But we don't have to talk about that. And Mike wakes up, starts feeling his head like he's, he just got shot or something. And he sees this pink coloring, and I have the video. Josh, I'll send you the video if you want to put it in like a later cut.
Yeah. Well, we'll just.
Yo,
be going into that.
Yo, you think I'm playing? And he gets up and like is ready to run after the other 2. Meanwhile, I'm up in my bunk, ready to pee myself. I'm laughing so hard. I got I'm bothering myself because I don't want him to hear me cracking up.
Yeah, and I was just standing in the hallway, and when he said that, I kind of just quietly got up and went back into my room and shut the door.
Yeah, that was a smart thing to do.
I cannot be responsible for this.
Yeah, I was holding.
Mike's my guy and forever be my guy. He's a good sport about that now.
He is.
Mm.
Yeah, he was so mad at like that night though.
Oh, you kidding me?
I love how we still talk about it too. It's the best part. And it will always be, I think, one of the funniest memories.
I mean, we always talk about the gossiping too.
Yeah.
For the whole, literally the people on this podcast right now made up 75% of the people who are actually there. That's the worst part.
True. That's true.
Because that was,
I think
that's when LeBron went to the Lakers. So we were all talking about trade rumors, and then you told us not to spread rumors. So that's all we could think about.
That's the only sermon I remember.
that was my one and only. My one and only. Maybe one time I'll come in and sneak attack you guys and you least expect it.
But that's how good it was that we still talk about it all these years later. I mean, this summer will be like 3 years since that.
Mm-hmm.
See?
More than 3 years.
Yeah.
I know.
Crazy.
I know. Everything is so different.
I know Joel was just like a mere toddler then.
I was.
Now he's just a taller toddler.
Yeah. Joel couldn't even dribble back then.
But he did finally block a jump shot. We were really proud of him that day. He earned his stripes.
Yeah, I definitely am. I think that's probably my most proud moment of youth group was that sermon that I preached that 7 people heard and all 7 people still remember.
It was that important.
Message.
It was a solid one.
They just try not to talk about it too much.
Yeah, you can't spread. You could misconstrue it and spread a rumor about it.
Mm-hmm.
Never could. Never could. Where'd Joel go?
He's right here.
Scared.
Oh, you know what that sound means. It's game time, baby.
Is it game time?
It's game time.
Oh,
It's game time. What game do you have?
It is game time.
It's game time.
All right, so I got a little game for us. No improv. There's no improv.
Oh my God.
Thank you.
So this game, it's called Famous Scientologist or Fox News Anchor.
Holes.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 30 seconds on the clock. Joel, you're going to leave the room. Not yet, but after I give the instructions. And I'm going to give you a name, and it's either going to be a celebrity who is part of Scientology or it's a Fox News anchor. It's going to be rapid fire. Josh, I need you to keep score for me, okay?
Yep.
All right, Joel, move. Get out. Josh, make sure you're somewhere where he can't hear me.
Kill this.
You want to do the time, Josh? You want me to do the time?
You do the time. I'll keep track of score.
All right, let me get my timer up.
Let's go.
Unlike Joel, I know how to use my phone.
Assuming we're the ones answering these questions, right?
Yeah, you can either designate one person or both of you can do them. It's up to you guys. All right, remember, famous Scientologist or Fox News anchor.
Okay.
Are you guys ready?
Mm-hmm.
And here we go. Tom Cruise.
Scientologist.
Tucker
Fox News.
Carlson.
Fox News.
John Travolta.
Scientology.
No, Scientologist. Juliette Lewis.
Scientology.
Yes. Neil Cavuto.
Fox News.
Yes. Melissa Francis.
Scientology.
Time. No, Fox News anchor.
Oof.
Josh, how'd they do?
I'm pretty sure that was 5. You guys were going in and out for me, but pretty sure that was 5.
5? Okay.
5. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, Joel could go the whole
Melissa-
list and not get 5 of them right.
Yeah, Joel will go the entire thing. You can name
I didn't get to
every
Dougie Fresh. All right, you want to call Joel back in? Or?
Let me text Joel.
Yeah, we didn't get to Michael Pena, Bill O'Reilly up until a few years ago, until that thing happened. Leah Remini and Dougie Fresh. I didn't know Dougie Fresh was a Scientologist.
Oh, I forgot she was Scientology.
She's ex-Scientologist.
Yeah.
She is like the world's leader in anti-Scientology
Yeah,
at this
she
point.
is.
Yeah,
I
I didn't
forgot
know John Travolta was a Scientologist.
Well, Joel's back.
You know,
I just know he's not a Fox News anchor, so that
I'm gonna say this right now. I know no celebrities, so
Well, then you better just start guessing. All right, Joel. Remember, Josh, you guys said they got 5, right?
Yep.
All right, Joel. Remember, famous Scientologist or Fox News anchor. Ready?
all right.
And here we go. Tom Cruise.
Isaac Newton.
What?
I know nobody. Wait, what
Did
am
you
I?
say Scientologist or Fox News?
Oh, Fox News.
Oh no,
Okay.
Tucker Carlson.
Fox News.
Yes, John Travolta.
Fox News.
No, Juliette Lewis.
Fox News.
No, Neil Cavuto.
Scientist.
No, Melissa Francis. That's it.
Nice. All right.
Joel, why did you say Isaac Newton?
Give him half a point for Isaac Newton.
Then he got one.
Yeah, he lost 1/2 to 5.
Yeah.
Why did you say Isaac Newton?
I didn't know I thought I had to like say a name. Or
I
something.
don't think that he knows what a Scientologist is.
Yeah.
Wait, you don't know what Scientology is?
I thought it was.
Scientist?
Wait, did you think I said scientist?
Yeah, that's what he
He was
thinks.
just his name. That's so nice, Joel.
Scientists.
Well, Joel, just don't join Scientology, okay? It's not a group for scientists.
No,
Don't
no matter
let them-
how cool the building is.
no matter how cool the thing is. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
Joel, if you ever see Tom Cruise and he tries to talk to you about L. Ron Hubbard, just walk away.
Turn around.
Yeah.
Yeah, the sci-fi author who started a religion.
Who knew it was
Right.
Okay.
That was, yeah, Joel.
You feel a little better now, Joel?
Yeah, he just
I
looked
just
it up.
looked it up.
Oh my god. That's pretty funny. Well, yeah, I mean that was the game. Danny and Leigh won. I think we could all bet the house that they would have won, but
Yeah.
like Fox.
DraftKings already set up a
Yep.
easy to win bet thing with Joel.
yeah, DraftKings had Danny and Leigh plus 1,400.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? We talked a little bit about this before, sharing our own memories and funny stories. But what would you say, probably, is your favorite youth group memory, specifically Danny and Leigh? Because, yeah, just because.
That's a tough one.
You can share like funny one and then like an actual like spiritual one if you want.
I think my funny one was probably when the van blew a tire and all got as far as underneath the overpass, and Danny was super mad at me because I was very pregnant, and we parked in like a park and ride, and I was like, no, Danny, I'm just gonna go walk to them. And Danny got so mad.
You walked to them on the highway.
It was the highway, and I crossed like an on-ramp, and I'm like, no, it's totally fine. And then I remember it was just it was just one of the funniest memories because there was this van full of kids and leaders, and everyone was cracking up, and then everyone had to go outside and stand in the freezing cold, and yet everyone was oddly happy. But it was that, to me, that was hilarious. I remember finding that very funny, and Evie refusing to get out of Pastor Justin's truck.
It was
Eric was happy-go-lucky. He was having a good time on the side of the road.
Mm-hmm.
we were cracking up, like the boys, like the girls were all huddling like around for warmth, and me, Brice, and Joel were like singing to like cars driving by, like we were screaming like at the top of our lungs like song lyrics and stuff.
And we were set because Outback was like a quarter mile down the road. So if we had to go get something to eat, we're going to Outback.
We were just making plans my time, messing around.
Blooming up.
We had to drive people back and forth to whatever restaurant was right there, so y'all could go to the bathroom.
Probably was the Outback.
I didn't need
I think it was the Outback,
Yeah, it was.
actually. I'm like, just go in like you know someone at a table, and then just leave. They're not going to ask you.
Oh, that's
The
how I
party's
get
in the-
rolls at Texas Roadhouse.
What's the matter?
That's how I finesse rolls like at Texas Roadhouse. You pull up, you go in, and you say, "My family's been waiting for about 25 minutes. Can we just get a little basket of rolls?" And they'll give you a little styrofoam thing of rolls and the butter, and I'll leave.
I gotta try that.
I'm doing God's work.
Try that.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Some rolls of, oh my goodness.
That's phenomenal.
What was your funniest?
For me, honestly, I think just the whole first youth retreat I was on, because that was a whole total change in perspective for me. I had no idea what I was getting myself into, and then
Yeah.
that just kind of like the way I looked at it the first hour I got there versus the way I looked at it by the time we left was just totally different. So that was a big part of it. And then honestly, no particular time, but I miss playing music and doing worship.
Mhm.
I miss that a lot.
I miss-
Playing guitar is fun. Not as fun when you're by yourself.
Yeah.
And your daughter's coming over and twisting all the knobs on your pedals and flipping your pickup pitch and turning your volume up and down and
Yeah.
stealing your guitar picks and hiding them in her playroom.
I know exactly how you feel. Every time I bring out my cajon to like family gatherings, my cousin is always putting stuff in the back of it, like whatever. I'll find guitar picks. I find my capo back there sometimes. I don't know. Like I found this llama back there. I don't even know how he got it in there. Like he's just a crafty little boy.
When we were with my parents, like the weekend of Thanksgiving, and my dad has a guitar out in the living room, and Lily kept taking toys. It's an acoustic guitar, so it's got the sound hole in it. Lily kept taking toys and sneaking them past the strings into the sound hole. And then as soon as it would drop in there, she'd run away saying, sorry. It got it out. And as soon as I get it out, she'd just do it all over again.
You have to cut the strings to get it out, or you just kind of got to shake it?
You got to get it on the sticker and then flip it upside down. I'm a master of throwing stuff into my guitar by accident, so.
What about you guys? Am I allowed to ask a question?
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead.
Favorite memes? Go.
Brice, you go first because I can't. I want to think of one. What's the question? Favorite youth group memory, whether it's spiritual or just funny in general. Actually, you know what? I'll go. Do you remember the Christmas party?
I'm trying to think.
Remember that we had the Christmas party last year, and we had this one specific game in which we had to make songs, like regular Christmas songs, based on like whatever topic they gave us. And so for some reason, they let us pick our groups. So my group was me, Joel, Eric, Nathan, and like Demir. Like that was our group. I don't know what Demir was doing. He was just standing on the side. But we made the Cheryl B song to the tune of Jingle Bells, and it was an absolute hit.
Banger.
Like if I ever make
I remember that.
Yeah. It was. That was a really good one, actually. I do remember that. That was a good one.
We just killed.
That was fun. That was a fun.
I wanted to do
the white elf
again this year, but they didn't do it for some reason.
They need the boys. Good.
I wasn't on
Yours
the committee for it, so.
I was talking to Erica about it, and she was excited about it. It looked good with all the elf stuff, all the pasta.
It was fun till Joel knocked over a girl soda on her.
What happened?
Joel knocked over a girl.
First of all,
It was my fault. It was my fault. I should say that. It wasn't intentional. I should say that.
and he was such an idiot about it too. Like he was, first of all, he did apologize, but then he was trying to explain himself like, oh yeah, like I was trying to throw it in the trash, but at the last second I saw the Sprite can and my mind locked onto the Sprite can and I just magically hit it. No.
Yeah, the trash can was like 10 feet away from.
This dude called bank when there was no backboard. This is what he just threw it and it hit this girl's Sprite and it fell everywhere, like all over her.
Yeah, he shot the good old Ben Simmons 3. He didn't even.
I threw it from behind my head, so I had no perception. Depth perception.
That was pretty funny.
Wait, who won the pasta eating game thing? Joel, you were like going to town.
I think it was Micah.
No,
Joel didn't eat it. I was eating it.
I had a mouthful.
I mean, Josh.
Yeah.
Josh was.
I had a mouthful and I like tasted chocolate. I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing this anymore. So I just spit it out.
Didn't Micah win that? Micah's like a human Hoover vacuum.
Michael was everybody else.
It was that.
He was finishing it too. Like time was up and he was still finishing it.
I didn't realize how hard it would be to get it all down because it was like cold noodles. They weren't even like a little bit warm.
Yeah, they weren't even heated up.
So it was bad. And plus, when the people handing this stuff out saw me, they just dumped like extra stuff on there. So I'm just like, oh, this is bad.
That's not good.
Oh wait, did you have to eat the pasta like in Elf with the maple syrup and the sprinkles and all the
Pop-Tarts?
If they gave
Yeah,
me,
I sat that one out.
Fine. Like they gave me off-brand.
Ugh. See, I might not be there, but I still got eyes on you people.
Ugh. Man, now I'm gonna have nightmares of that along with the horse-sized chicken.
Gross.
I might not sleep tonight.
Lee, to answer your question, my favorite memory was probably, I don't know. I mean, we talk about winter retreat. Those are always great.
Mm-hmm.
But it's probably like the basketball tournaments we would play there because I don't play in, my middle school basketball league. I'm too old for it now, so I can't play in it. That's the only time of the year where I can play like an actual real competitive game. That's not, no offense, guys. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was always fun.
It's hard to play competitive in the youth group because no one takes it seriously.
And
Meanwhile, me, you, and Sean are going like head to head, back and forth, like actually getting mad.
That's game 7 every week.
wait, I'm not included.
Well, you mess around too, Joel, sometimes.
I mess around at the beginning, but I get serious later. I mess around during
Do you?
Yeah, I mess around during warm-ups. But like Sean scores on me, I get kind of mad. Especially with his trash.
You should be. You know why? Because you let him score.
That's true.
No, we go into it at those games.
Yeah.
But it's only the 4 of us, like no one else.
You should.
No, Eric is Eric's got them elbows that he's got.
How much taller has he gotten since I last saw him? Is he like 7'3" yet?
I think he's 6'3", 6'5".
Yeah, he just walks around like Manute Bol everywhere.
Yeah.
7'4",
Eric takes it serious when we play.
140 pounds.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
it's
bad.
probably that. And meeting you guys, like I loved, you guys were our youth leaders, and then I got to work, with you guys. It was.
Yeah, sadly, I didn't get to work with you guys as a youth leader, but being a student was fun.
You never know what. You never know. You might just randomly see us.
Trader Joe's. You might see him at Trader Joe's.
There's almost 100% chance you'll see us at Trader Joe's. But we don't, I think we go back and forth a lot. You guys are definitely like youth group is what we miss the most with Living Hope and stuff. So I think that's, it's a tough one. And, I like to hear what's going on with you guys if I talk to Erica and things like that. So you never know.
Yeah.
Eventually, you guys there'll be a worship
greatest
night.
to
We'll
be
get stuck
around.
to it.
Hopefully. I miss hearing the guitar part in Reckless Love. Like every time we're playing, I just hear it in the background, like in my mind. But it's like kind of sad.
Oh man,
I know.
Toby's got to work on that.
But we don't have an electric guitar. It's harder for him to do it on acoustic and keep playing like that.
Oh, well, you never know.
What about your worst memories in youth group?
Worst memory.
We don't talk about that as much.
Yeah, hey, he's right. He's kind of right.
All bad memories.
Right? And I don't care if she ever hears it because she'll admit to it. Sharing a bed with Danielle is impossible. It's impossible. It doesn't go well. She falls asleep and 99.9% of the bed is suddenly hers.
Our dog. She does that.
I mean, we almost got in a fist fight this year.
That's true. Yeah.
What?
Oh shoot!
Like,
Oh.
like a real fist fight.
You don't know the story?
Why?
Oh, we should tell them. That's.
Now
Go ahead, Josh.
Got into a fist fight. Well, okay, I'll tell the story then. So, it was a pretty chilly February night. It was Saturday night, right after the volleyball game, or not the volleyball game, the dodgeball tournament.
We lost. I don't know if you heard.
Yeah, we lost, like in the first round, because they had this tank on the other team and this pregnant woman, which we couldn't hit.
Wait, don't forget the whistle. Don't forget the whistle.
Yeah, I'll tell. Oh well, okay. So we have to go a little bit further back for this story, in which every year we have a winter retreat ref that's always like not fair to our team, right? A little bit, just a little bit of bias. So this year, I was so fed up. Like we started like arguing with the refs, and this guy literally started clapping for the other team when they like scored on us.
He was reffing too.
Yeah, he was our ref. So
Yeah,
it was bad. And this dude left his whistle on the ground and like went, I don't know, to the bathroom or something. And so I said, Brice, come with me over like really quick to sit over here. So I sat down on the whistle, and then when I got up, I grabbed the whistle and I put it in my pocket, and I stole this man's whistle. It's still on my car keys to this day. It's a memento for me. The day I broke the 8th commandment. So, but I stole that guy's whistle, and the other ref had a whistle, and he gave it to a student. So now this student started just blowing the whistle out of nowhere. And so I was like, oh, I bet he thinks he's cool. So I grabbed the whistle that I took, which I had washed out, and I blew it as loud as I could. So this guy comes in here, right? And I expected him to come in here, but I didn't expect him to be only wearing boxer briefs when he walked in. he wasn't wearing any clothing, like except for his boxer briefs. So I was processing in my mind, like, what is going on right now? And this dude's like, oh, like, blah, blah, blah. Like, he was saying stuff, but all I could think of is like, please, like, do not let this guy come anywhere close to me. And eventually Pastor Justin comes in and he gets the guys to leave. And then I was like I thought of something really nice to say right after like they left. So I was like, oh, Brice, Sean, I should have said that. Like,
it was not nice.
It was not nice, but it was very
like,
funny. It
was good. It was some.
Should have said.
But it
like,
was nice.
Yeah, I should have said like my 8-year-old brother would fill out the boxers better than he did. So Sean and Brice, being Sean and Brice, instead of telling me to just leave it alone, said, I bet you won't do it
Yeah,
right
why would
now.
I do that?
They said, I bet you won't do it right now. But and then I was like, okay. And they were like, well, first, you can't just go in there fully clothed. And I didn't strip down to my underwear, just so you know. I had like shorts and basketball tights on. I just took off the shorts and I still had my basketball tights and like a hoodie on. I was pretty much fully clothed. And we went to this guy's room and I blew the whistle as loud as I could.
It's a great image, by the way.
I told him the joke. And keep in mind, we tried to get into their room. Like we tried to rush in there, but there was this giant like pillar that was I don't know if it was a structure.
Yeah, they had a support beam in the middle of the room.
Middle of their room. So when we tried to run in there, we all had to stop because we didn't want it to run into this pillar. So we walked around it and I told him the thing. And then Pastor Justin came into their room. And he's like, okay, guys, let's go to sleep now. And I was like, okay, fine. I got my revenge. So let's go. And we were like getting ready for bed. And this dude comes in with a towel wrapped around his waist. And I was like, if you drop it and you are not wearing anything underneath, I'm going to fight you like right now. And
he's going to fight him naked.
I'll fight him. He said, I heard it's someone's birthday and he drops the towel, but he still has the boxer briefs on. But this time he's fully erect. I'll let me finish the story. So I don't know what I was thinking. I was like clenching the side of the bed and he kept walking closer to me. I was like, you better get out of like my face or else I'm going to reverse your puberty. And I was ready to get up and I stood up. And then right then Joel turns into LeBron James. He goes, and to de-escalate the situation, he slaps this guy's butt as loud as he can, right? As hard.
No, 80%. 80%. I didn't do as hard.
Oh, and you could just see the blood go from his erection to his.
Yeah, Joel didn't reach unlimited power.
Yeah. He didn't want to kill him. He just wanted to hurt him back. And so to stop the fight, Joel decided to hit him. And I was thinking, now I'm really going to have to fight.
Yeah, I mean, that makes me and Sean have to jump up and like ready to.
Brice jumped off out of his bed. Sean jumped out of his bed, like ready to fight. And all of the guys that were with him started dying laughing. So then we started dying laughing, and the guy that got slapped just stood there in shame and then ran out of the room.
Didn't get his towel.
Yeah, he left his towel too. He came back in the middle of the night to pick it up.
Yeah, we still have it. No.
I also keep that in my bathroom. So.
I don't even have words for that. I'm shook by that.
No regrets.
Me and Brice always
Oh,
get
we were like ready. I really thought that this guy was going to turn and punch Joel right in the face.
No, like I was ready for it. Like I like had my like fist clenched.
You in there?
I was stretching in the background, ready for the fight to happen. I don't want to strain anything, you know.
I'm done.
Fight there.
That's not the first time we've almost got into a fight. There's one. It was at the National Youth Convention, and there was an altar call in which the guy was talking about like, oh, if you want to be a missionary or whatever, come to the front, or if you just want God to work through you. And so naturally, like everyone went to the front.
This is fine arts.
Yeah, this is fine arts. And this guy had like this plastic chain and he hit me in the back of the leg with it. Keep in mind, I'm wearing jeans, so I didn't really feel it. And then he goes, should I do it harder? And Brice turns around and says, he goes, I dare you to do it harder. And the guy just had like a stupid look on his face, right? And I really was wishing that he would have done it harder. So I had like an excuse. But
yeah, nothing like an altar call rumble.
Yeah, nothing like fight at the altars, you know? I'm pretty sure that's SEU worship had in mind when they said, oh, come to the altar.
That's
it's not
amazing.
The father's arms are open wide. It's you can catch these hands.
Yeah, exactly.
You can catch these hands. That's amazing.
Not in a fight.
No, yeah, and Joel was like, oh man, then Me and Nate were gonna have to hold Brice and Josh back, and Nate was going, I wasn't gonna hold them back. And Joel was like, so just me.
I knew the time and place. I'm not doing it at an altar call.
So you think if I'm on the ground like wrestling and like fighting someone, you're just gonna go there like praise the Father.
I'm taking the guy off you. I'm not fighting on an altar call. I'll do it anywhere else.
Church camps get
Oh,
really
Joel, you're fighting like the featherweight division. I don't know how much like.
I'm 125, 126 now. Thank you very much.
Shoot, I ain't been 126 since the 7th grade.
We got our own problems, okay?
You know what? Let's talk about something big. Leigh, I heard you have your own wedding planning business now.
Oh yeah, that. I guess I do technically. Doesn't always feel like it, but you know, I do some. I have one coming up. I don't think I have a little bit of a hiatus at the moment, but I just booked one in June. It's pretty neat. It's fun. I like being creative. It's terrifying, honestly, because it's just me and Danny when I rope them into it, which is like every time.
Yeah, babe, do you need my help? No, I'll be good. And then an hour into her being there, my mom's coming over to watch the baby. I need your help. And then I'm there for 5 hours building a tent and unfolding table.
It's fun though. I like it.
I can build a 10 by 30 tent from China by memory now.
Yeah,
Doesn't even matter the brand. I can build it by memory.
I like it. It was fun. I like, I like event planning. So it's a nice little side hustle, as kids say these days.
But what goes into that? Does whoever's getting married just tell you like what they want and you plan it, or they?
Basically, like we have like detail meetings and stuff like that. Like they'll give me their like feel that they want. Some people want it more vintage, more modern, and then they give me their colors. And then I help them book their vendors if need be, if they don't already have one booked. And then I do all the setup the day of, because we've mostly been doing, we are at 3% battery over here. Because we've been mostly doing like backyard COVID style weddings. That's kind of how I got started, where all these brides didn't have coordinators anymore. And then I do all the setup the day of and everything else. And I'll do a lot of the breakdown and everything too. So it's really cool. And like I use a lot of my own stuff, which the brides usually like. Like I have a lot of my own glassware. A friend of mine built me a sweetheart table where the legs come off so they could like use a lot of my stuff instead of having to pay rentals for it. So it's neat. It's fun because I have a little bit of like freedom with it and everything. And once I kind of know what style they want, it's pretty easy from there. Because a lot of like I did one wedding where it was a lot of greenery, and I did another wedding that just had like wood flowers. They were like paper flowers, and like we added some other stuff. It's neat. It's fun to do.
She's good at it.
I don't know if I'd go that far, but it's fun.
Shout out Garrison Printing too, if we're gonna plug businesses.
Yeah.
Hey.
Thanks. Yeah, I actually am going to be the only person in the building tomorrow. We gave everybody off, but scheduled a shipment of 300,000 mailers that have to get picked up by a truck. So I have to go in and load a truck and then come home.
Wow.
Yeah, but if it's just you, you can like blast the music.
Yeah, well, since COVID, I like have really been the only one that's consistently been in the office full time every day. I mean, my dad and uncle are in basically as much as me, but I've picked up a lot of things that I never would have done before, and one of them, which was a personal challenge of mine, was learning how to operate our forklift. Because it's one you stand behind, but it's motorized. So like the thing weighs a ton and you drive it, but it drives all from this handle that swings, and it's a total beast. But I could totally terrified.
Wait, Danny, are you forklift certified?
According to OSHA?
According to me, yes.
Oh, okay. I won't tell nobody. We can cut
It's
that
not
out.
the one that you sit in and drive, so it doesn't require the same. I don't believe it requires the same certifications. But anyway, out of necessity, I learned how to use it, and now it's like my favorite thing. When we get a delivery at like 4:00 and I'm the only person left, it's like, yes.
Forklift.
Yes, I will unload all 120,000 sheets of paper off your truck with joy.
Where are you?
That's right. I don't think OSHA listens to this, so I think you're good.
Yeah, we're not that.
What if this is the
I hope
one
not.
episode that
Well,
if guys, I apologize.
Yeah, probably will, but we'll see.
Josh, what's the country that we're like in the top 10 in or something?
We're not the top 10. We have like.
What was the stat you had?
Yeah, so 2%. It was like 2% of our podcast listeners are from like Indonesia and like Singapore.
Yeah.
Oh, welcome.
So we're international. What can we say?
If you're listening to this podcast from another country, hit us up, DM us. You could be on here. So far, 64 plays since the day we're recording this. It's mirrored, but 64. It's not 46.
Because you can say we're international. I mean, you know.
I know.
I'm impressed. I'm impressed.
It's been a mind-blowing first episode. More coming soon, but
Yeah, that's like 60 more people than I thought would listen. So
yeah, four of us doing the podcast. So you,
All right, guys.
what?
I was gonna say, our phone's gonna die, so I'd rather say goodbye before it does. But thanks for having us on.
No
thanks for
problem.
coming on.
Be happy to come back anytime.
You guys are like the
We-
perfect guests to have. I'm
And
so
I-
happy you guys did this.
As a special gift to Danny and Leigh, the day that this podcast episode comes out, we have our own merch and we have our own store. We're creating ideas, right? But the day this podcast comes out, we're gonna come out with baby onesies, limited time only. So moms, if you're listening to this podcast, get our baby onesies. We're gonna have some funny quotes on them. I don't know what the quotes are gonna be,
Definitely
but
gotta be a rumors one.
yeah, don't spread rumors. Just something's gonna be on there.
And be on the lookout for a certain pair of sweatpants. That's all I'm gonna say.
We have some
That's
sweats
amazing.
coming out, some sweatshirts, hoodies, everything that you can think of.
Masks. We got masks coming out.
masks because we want to stay safe.
Sweatpants are low key fire.
But you heard it here first. If you need a wedding that needs to be planned, call Lee. And if you need to get your paper up, call Danny.
Yeah, for real.
Oh
Yeah,
my
no
gosh,
free ads, but for you two it will be.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks for coming on to the podcast.
Thank you so much. See you
Having
guys
us.
later.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
All right. Well, that was our podcast with Danny and Lee. We thank everyone who was watching. Like
We
said
thank Danny and Lee for coming on too.
Thank Danny and Lee. We're looking for more guests. We're gonna start posting more consistently now. Right now we're filming this the 30th of December. Tonight, I mean, you guys won't care. This will be like a couple weeks from now, but we just dropped the second episode, part 1 tonight, and we're gonna keep dropping episodes a little bit more consistently now. We're gonna make more YouTube videos, whether it's on Zoom or maybe if we can go out in person and make vlogs, we're gonna try and do that. But this is all for you guys. Thank you for supporting us. Thank you for listening. Just thank you for everything. Be on the lookout for our merch. It's gonna be fire. Just be on the lookout. Thank you guys and welcome. Thank you for listening to another episode of